There we go. Now he wants to... Who's that? Who is interrupting the date? Oh my god, it's Jonathan. Rocco and Jonathan have a crush on each other, and I guess Jonathan noticed that Rocco went into Ramon's house. Oh my god, that is so not... That is so rude. That is so rude. Oh my god. Good morning and welcome back to Cherryblossom Springs. Today we are going to take a closer look at the church and hold a memorial service for Valentina's husband and Lizzy's father. And as you could see by the previous clip, we are also going to take a look at a few other households, but more about that later. So Mike recently died in a fire. They are certainly not over their loss yet, and especially Valentina is really traumatized. She has been aspiration failing all over town, and the priest felt that it would benefit them to hold a memorial and grieve together with the rest of the town. So that's what he did, and that's what we're going to look at right now. So as Reginald is preaching, let's take a closer look at him. He is unemployed because of course he runs the church. He is a Virgo and a knowledge sim, and has the lifetime wish to max out 7 skills. So he will spend a lot of his life studying, I think. He is very neat, active and nice, also very serious and shy. His interests are mainly money, paranormal and crime, and also culture and fashion. And his hobby is cuisine. Now his sub-hobby I rolled for baking, so he's going to bake cakes, maybe even sell them at this church. And he has kind of a secret wish to earn money. Now, we don't know what his intentions are quite yet, but he does want to earn money. His memories and his attractions. He is attracted to redheads, and seems to have a high cleaning skill, and turned off by zombieism. We know from the meet and greet a few episodes back that he met Sophie. And he really is attracted to Sophie, and he wants to ask someone out. So I'm guessing he is going to ask Sophie out. Now Sophie is currently sitting at the back of this memorial service, at the back of the church. But of course he is not going to ask her out during the service, so we're going to do that sometime later this episode. For now, let's focus on the memorial service and the church, because maybe this church looked a little bit familiar to you, and you're not wrong if that is the case, because I downloaded this. I didn't build it myself. I downloaded it from Cindy from Pleasant Sims. So if you like the design of this church, I will link the download site below, and you can download it yourself, because I think it's really cute. It's a cool build, and you can of course rearrange everything to make it to your own taste, but it's a nice and simple setup, so I really liked it. And I did rearrange the interior a little bit. I didn't plan to, but then I decided to do that anyway, because I don't want to hold weddings right now. So I took out all of the wedding stuff and just put in some church benches and stuff like that. The other things are actually Reginald's. So yeah, let's get back to Reginald. So he's a knowledge sim, and he wants to max out 7 skills. He is 43 years old at the beginning of this round, so he is kind of in a hurry to start a family and leave a legacy in this town. Now his reasons for wanting to start a family have nothing to do with being a family sim or a popularity sim or anything like that. It's all about leaving a mark on this world, gathering wisdom, sharing wisdom, and making this world a better place, or leaving it a better place when he leaves it. So it's all about leaving a legacy, and maybe even a little bit about power, because knowledge is also power, and his position in town has also given him quite a bit of an advantage, because people trust him with their secrets. People trust him with almost anything, so that also gives him a little bit of power. Now, the question is, how is he going to use that? We will have to see that during the next episodes as his story unfolds. But for now, let's focus on his skills and building up a life for him in this new town. He wants to max out 7 skills. It is going to be quite a bit of a challenge to earn those skills, because I am using a mod which makes skill earning very hard, and I've been enjoying it so far because in my previous playthroughs it was way too easy to earn skills. So let's see how this will go, but for Reginald it's definitely going to be a challenge, and I'm not even sure if he's going to fulfill his lifetime wish. After Reginald has said everything that he wanted to say, we are going to deactivate the mystic icon, and he is going to serve the croissants that he bought at the town's bakery. Of course, the mayor wants to really show her support to Valentina, so she is going to greet her, and we're going to make unselectable Ricky and Lizzy, because they are not going to be here for the rest of the service. They are going to go home. I think the mayor would really try to talk to Valentina a little bit more. Valentina has plans of her own. She just wants to lounge during her husband's memorial service. Well, why not? No, I think she would take the opportunity to thank Reginald for his kind words and the opportunity to share memories about her late husband with the rest of the town, most of whom have never even met him because he died shortly before everyone arrived. When everyone starts leaving, Valentina takes her time to mourn by herself and spend some time at her husband's tombstone. It is time to relieve some anger that she has felt inside, and she really needs to do that before she can continue with her life. When Reginald sees Valentina standing out there all alone, he decides that he is going to go out there and try and cheer her up a little bit. Now they start talking and gossiping about the other townspeople, and then somehow Reginald realizes that he's really attracted to Valentina, and he thinks it's a good idea to hit on her. But of course that's way too soon, and Valentina really doesn't like that. The next morning, as Valentina is getting ready for her workday, she tries to wash off the previous night and tries to forget that the priest tried to hit on her. She was appalled by his action, and it was way too soon after losing her husband, but she does feel attracted to him, so she's also a little bit confused about how to handle this situation. She decides that she is not going to think about it anymore and just going to focus on her work, because she has a lot of things to do and to prepare. Right now she is working from her home, but that is just to get her started. She wants to open up a store in the town square, and she needs 30,000 simoleons for that. Right now she has 13,000 on hand, so she is working really hard to save up enough. At the beginning of this round, when I randomly gave all the Sims their characteristics and items and stuff, she rolled for a budget of 41,000 simoleons, and her house cost around 26. So after buying a few items, she is left with this amount of 13. And it would make sense that she has a bit of money from maybe a life insurance payment after the death of her husband. Also, during the fall festival, she is going to have a stall, so she can promote her items to the rest of the town and maybe warm them up a little bit before the store opens, so she'll have a really warm opening. And I will insert a little clip of her stall at the fall festival at the end of this episode as a little preview to that. Meanwhile, Lizzy is upstairs in her room, procrastinating getting ready to go to school. Her mind has been off lately, and she has had a hard time concentrating. She did improve her grades a lot in one of the previous episodes where she went to school, and right now she is mostly thinking about the memorial service yesterday and seeing Ricky there. That was a real nice feeling to have his support in the back of the church at a difficult day like that. She is really grateful to have met him and have someone to talk to who understands her. Her bus is going to arrive soon though, and I think she has a little bit time left to prepare something and have breakfast with her mother. I'm sure Valentina can take a few minutes out of her day of working to spend talking to her daughter. And when Lizzy comes back home this afternoon, she is going to get the job that fits best to the job that she got at the bakery. We've seen that in one of the last episodes, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's the episode about the bakery. So when Lizzy comes back home this afternoon, we are going to give her the job. In the meantime, Valentina is going to work in her home business some more. Keep in mind, all of these houses are not decorated, and the reason for that is that I wanted to have all the Sims get the same start at the beginning and then have to earn their money to decorate their houses, because there is always going to be an interior designer, or like a decorator, and that decorator is Valentina. So she will own a decoration shop in the town center, but the other Sims will also be able to hire her to do the interior decorations of their homes. So the way I want to go about that is she is going to make quilts, and every Sim that is going to buy a quilt in her store, that is going to be a sign that that Sim wants to hire her to decorate one of their rooms. I'm actually thinking about making a separate series about that, like doing separate episodes about the interior design of the Sims homes. So let me know if that is something that you would like to see. Leave it in the comments if you do. So during her day at school, something funny happened to Lizzy. I got this pop-up which I thought was so fitting for her situation and character. So she is doodling and her mind is wandering off during math class. And when the teacher asks her to answer the question, which she didn't hear, her character kind of shines through, because she's very ambitious and has a bright mind, and she is not just going to admit that she doesn't know or wasn't listening. So since she has enough confidence about her own abilities, she does exactly what the chance card says, and she tries to reason her way to the answer, which works out and gives her some extra enthusiasm in arts and crafts. So it's around 4 o'clock in the afternoon now, and both of the women are waking up from their nap. We have a few more things to do at this household for the first round. First, Lizzy's job. She is going to get the job of a dishwasher. We are not going to send her to the job notice board because we've already seen that Natasha has given her the job. So we are just going to do that using the Sim Blender. We're going to go to careers, teen elder, and culinary. And I believe that will give her the job of a dishwasher. Dishwasher. So there we go. She works Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday. She's going to take the job and have her first work day tomorrow. So that means that today she can make a few more flower bouquets and work on her flower arranging skills, because she is going to need that in the future. Okay, so Valentina is going to serve dinner and then freshen up a little bit. After that she can have dinner with her daughter. But first we are going to check how she did financially. So let's see how she did. Yesterday she made 196 simoleons, so that's not a lot. But today she's made a few items, and she also has the flowers from yesterday, so she is going to sell these. And she is going to sell her quilts and also the last 2 flowers that Lizzy made. Now in the future they're of course also going to sell these items in their store, but for now this is the way that she's going to do it. And now we can see that she's made a total of 1485 simoleons in 2 days, so that's not bad. That's actually not bad. According to my calculations, that would mean that by Monday she can earn 5,000 more simoleons, and that will put her up to 20, so she will only need a loan of 10,000 simoleons, which is very acceptable, I think. Now the last thing is something new that I haven't talked about yet. This town is not only going to have a financial and tax system, it's also going to have some sort of a political system and a commercial committee. Now to get a little bit into detail about that last part, the commercial committee, we need to skip to the next household, which is the Amadi household. But first, let's see how Reginald is doing after Valentina turned down his flirt. So Reginald is waking up at the morning after the memorial service, and I can only imagine how ashamed he must feel about letting himself go like that. He still wants to ask someone out and flirt with someone. No, slow dance with someone actually. But he's probably not sure that that is going to be Valentina anymore. Let's see who else he is attracted to. We've got Valentina, of course, and then Sophie. Now, he did spend some time talking to Sophie at the meet and greet, so there is definitely potential there. And the funny thing is that Sophie actually works at the library. Now, Reginald is of course a knowledge sim, and all he wants to do is learn skills. So we are going to send him off to the library, which was something that he was going to do anyway. And we'll see what happens. So let's send him to the library after he is done kicking the washer. So here we see Reginald arriving at the local library, which is located on one of the 8 corners of the town square. This lot is a building that I've downloaded from Mod The Sims. I did that a long time ago when I just started out building this neighborhood. So if I can find it, I will certainly link it below. I think it was an old bar and I kept most of it intact, but I made a few changes. Inside we can see that Sophie is already working here. She is going to go to her area behind the counter and she has a little desk there and a computer to do some work. So we've sent Reginald to the reading corner where he can just... Okay, he wants to sit in her chair. There's a couch behind there, Reginald. So this is the reading corner of the library and Sims can just come here to work on their skills and study. So it really is a library, and on the bottom floor I've mostly just put in bookcases all around with lights on top of them and the reading corner behind there. This door is locked, so only Sophie can go through there. And I've cleaned up a little bit outside. So the other Sims are just going to come in here to buy books or borrow books. And they are going to pay for that at the cash register. So that's the downstairs look. And upstairs I kept it mostly the same as it was. So this is kind of a very cheap urban looking upstairs, and I can really imagine this place to be something like Luke's diner in the Gilmore Girls, and he has this apartment upstairs where he lives, and I can totally imagine this place being something like that. So this is really Sophie's corner, and she has her laptop up here and her toy making, her robot making station. Her hobby is toy cars and tinkering. She gets to do all of that upstairs. And on top I just cleaned up a little bit, but kept it mostly the same. I did something similar to most of the community builds around this town, where I kept them exclusively for a certain audience, or banned a few aspiration sims that didn't fit. For example, in the gambling den, knowledge sims are banned. And on this lot, pleasure sims and romance sims are banned. So that means all of the other sims can come in here and work on their skills. But we won't be seeing any pleasure or romance sims here. So let's get back to Reginald. He is going to spend the afternoon here working on his skills. And since that is not really something interesting to watch, we are not going to join him. We are just going to leave him to it. But we are going to check back later to see if he's built up the courage to talk to Sophie. So after a long day of studying, Reginald is working up the courage to start talking to Sophie. And Sophie is actually joining them to study. Because Sophie is also a knowledge sim who wants to max out her 7 skills, and that is the biggest reason why she took this job at the library. So in the spare moments between not being busy at the cash register or working behind her computer, she would have the time to study all of the books in the library herself. At the end of the afternoon, Vernon gets tired and goes home. So it's just the two of them, and this is a perfect chance for Reginald to start a conversation with Sophie. Of course, by this time they are both really tired, grumpy and hungry, so we'll have to see how that is going to go. At first, Reginald starts talking to her about fashion, but of course Sophie is really someone who has more of technical interests and stuff like that, so she's really not interested. And Reginald just doesn't seem that lucky with the women in this town, but he's not giving up that easily. He starts again and he gives her a compliment about how neat this library looks, and she seems to really like that. So he knows that this is his chance to ask her to grab something to eat after she finishes up at the library, and she says yes. So we are going to follow these two on their first date. Right now there is only one place in this town where the Sims can get a simple meal to eat, and that is the local bar. Now this bar was hugely inspired by Jack's bar in Virgin River. Except this place is run by someone called Daniel, so it's called Daniel's Den. And Daniel's standing right behind the bar right now, tending the bar. And he gets a little help from Ricky Hobson, who helps out serving the food, and from his brother, who is doing some administrative work at the back in his office, in Daniel's office. In Virgin River, Jack's Bar is the place where all the townspeople come daily to hang out together or to get a drink or a quick bite to eat. So that was really the main look and feel that I was going for. And even though it's not quite finished and very simple in its initial setup, for now it looks like all of the visitors are having fun and mingling, so I guess it serves its purpose. It might turn into something more of a restaurant in the future, but for now we don't have the staff to do that. So that is why the kitchen and the shelves in the storage room are still completely empty. Now let's zoom in on Reginald's and Sophie's date. Because that was of course the whole reason that we came to this bar. It looks like they are not really having a very vibrant conversation at first, and they are not really talking about very big subjects. It almost seems like they are a bit bored with each other's company. But these two are just two introverts, enjoying a simple meal together and enjoying each other's company. Which really shows when suddenly Sophie reaches out for Reginald's hand. And you can see that he has a crush on her. So who needs words when you can just enjoy each other's company in silence, right? And I really think that this is the time where Reginald realizes that he really likes Sophie, and he tells her that he is really enjoying this meal together and that he hopes to see her again, but also that he hopes that this date is not going to end quite yet. So after the dinner they hang around a bit at the bar and they have some fun together. Here you can also see the other townies mingling, or townspeople I should say. They're not townies, they're the playable characters. And it's really fun to see them interacting with each other and to see them in this bar all together. In the meantime, Daniel is talking to Rocco on the phone, and he should really get back to the bar. He has the wish to be friends with Ramon, which is something that we are going to get into later this episode. But again, back to Reginald and Sophie. He is finally going to kiss her, and that will also mean the end of this date. So they had a great date. I'm sure there will be a follow-up, because Reginald is not going to invite her home, because technically we are on the Hamiltons' active household, and I'm sure that they are going to want some more privacy for the rest of their wants. So we're going to see that in a future episode. Right now we are going to skip to Ramon Amadi's household, because at the beginning of this episode I promised you that we were going to take a look at the commercial committee. And you can see Ramon Amadi sitting at the bar right here, and he is the head of the commercial committee, who is in charge of making the decisions around town about how the town is going to develop, and particularly the commercial area around the town center. So he does have quite a bit of influence, and it makes sense that Daniel wants to be friends with him. So let's go and talk to him. So he is talking to him about the environment, and Ramon really doesn't like that subject. but he immediately starts talking about City Hall and the next council meeting that they're going to have. He has lots of plans and goals and can't wait to share that with the rest of the committee. I'm sure we will get to see that at the end of the episode when we join in on this council meeting. Daniel's really worked up about the political opportunities that he sees. And he really can't wait to talk to Ramon about that. They are both really excited about it. And they both agree that they are going to continue their conversation at the next meeting. Because right now, Daniel has some work to do. And in one of the future episodes, we are going to follow the brothers home to see what Jonathan is up to. So over at the Amadi household, we can see that there is someone at the door. But this is the morning after the meet and greet, and during the meet and greet, he talked to Rocco. And Ramon is gay, and Rocco is bisexual, and they do have an attraction. So it's funny that he would turn up on his doorstep on the morning after a meet and greet. So let's go and watch what turned out to be like the worst date in the history of dates. It is so sad, awkward, and funny at the same time. So let's see what happens. So at first they started doing laundry together, and that is not a euphemism. Isn't that the most romantic thing that you can think of? So I kicked them out of the rooms, locked the door, and got them to have a real conversation together. So after the weird start of the date by doing laundry, they started talking and joking, and it actually looked like it was gonna go okay for a little while. They continued their conversation on the couch and got along really well. They seemed really interested in each other. They are both really interested in the paranormal, and Rocco really is the kind of person that can just talk to anyone, anytime, about anything. But since Ramon is a family sim and has his eyes set on Rocco, he was hopeful and thought they were a good match and even attracted to each other. So he's asking him about his job as a fireman, and Rocco tells him there's actually already been one fire that he had to put out in this town on the first day that he moved here. And then later that afternoon, both Lorraine and Reginald joined them. They both rang the door, and Ramon both let them in. And they spent a nice afternoon together with their neighbors, getting to know each other, just relaxing, having some fun. But all Ramon could really think of was how to get Rocco to himself again, how to get him alone, because he wanted to ask him out on a real date. So after Reginald and Lorraine have left, it's just the two of them again, and Ramon figures that there must be a reason why Rocco is still sticking around. He has been here almost the entire day. So let's just ask him on a date. He's the only sim in town that he has an attraction with, so let's just go for it. We can have a little chat. And, just tell him a joke. Do some playful tickling. He didn't like the joke. I don't know if this is going to go anywhere. There we go. Now he wants to... Who's that? Who is interrupting the date? Oh my god, it's Jonathan. Rocco and Jonathan have a crush on each other, and I guess Jonathan noticed that Rocco went into Ramon's house. Oh my god, that is so not... That is so rude. It's so rude. Oh my god. Oh my god. Are they just going to fall in love? Oh my god. Ramon, just get out of the room. Leave them. Leave them. He was going to make him dinner. He was going to make Rocco dinner. Let's... oh, this is so sad. Oh, this is so sad. He's making them dinner. And it's so awkward. He is on a date with Rocco. Jonathan just interrupts and he's like, no, he's mine and I'll have him right here on this couch. Oh my god. Okay, so let's just skip to the commercial committee because I have no idea how to deal with this right now. So here we are, 2 days later. Ramon is trying to forget everything that happened last Tuesday, and we are at the first meeting of the commercial committee. Now, the commercial committee is here to advise the city council how to develop the town and how to invest in new businesses that are going to make the town grow. They meet every Thursday and Sunday from 4 to 8 in the afternoon in a meeting room upstairs in the town hall, which is exactly where we are now. And Daniel starts this meeting off with talking about his idea about building a factory. Now, Valentina really doesn't agree. She thinks it would be way better to build a wedding venue, because with all of these single sims in town, there are bound to be weddings in the near future. Stanley agrees, and he says that the town could really use some more romance. And then Valentina says, okay, so what do you think about a bookstore? And Linda really likes that idea. She says, yeah, culture is what we really need. But how about what instead of a bookstore, we invest in a theater? That would really bring some new people with class to this town. Of course, Daniel is really opposed to that idea, because a theater would mean direct competition for his bar, and he tries to use the environment as an excuse for that. But Valentina is onto him, and she says the environment has nothing to do with it. Listen. If we are ever going to attract new people and new businesses to this town, we are going to have to find a way to agree with each other. So then Linda suggests a sports facility, because everybody likes sports. And how about a soccer field or a gym or something like that? Then Daniel replies, well, remember that we are already building a pool, so I really don't think that another sports facility would be a good idea. But how about my first idea, that factory? I really think that could make the town some money. And then Linda goes, yeah, honey, I know, I really like your idea about the factory too, but you gotta remember that it's gonna cause a lot of pollution, and those hot springs near the mountains are really not going to attract any tourists if the air is full of pollution. Of course, Ramon, as chairman of this committee, has to agree, because the town can't use any more pollution, but he reassures Daniel that they are going to find another way. So the committee sure does have their differences. Valentina's goals are to make the town pretty and nice and look good for the tourists. Daniel, who owns the local bar, is more of a opportunistic sim, and he cares about his bar and making money. Stanley, of course, has a very keen business sense, and he owns a few businesses himself, but he does care about the town and really wants to develop it. And then we have Linda. She owns the bed and breakfast, and she's really more of a snob. She wants to add some class and elegance to this town. And then we have Ramon, who just has to make sense of all of the ideas that are thrown at him. And he is the one attending the city council, where he is going to take all of their ideas, and the city council is going to take a vote on what to do and what idea they are going to fund. But it really seems like they are not going to come to a decision in the first meeting. Luckily, they are going to meet again on Sunday, which takes place before the first city council meeting on Monday. So who knows what new ideas the committee members might bring to the table in the next meeting. In any case, we will see Ramon at the city council meeting, and we will see exactly how the funding for this committee is arranged in the episode about the town hall and the town finances. But before we end the episode, let's check back on Ramon and see how he handled the situation on Tuesday. Of course, he couldn't just continue with the date. The fact that Rocco could do something like that really put him off. But even worse was, after their woohoo, seeing them eat the dinner that Ramon had prepared with great affection for the both of them, not to mention the inappropriate fart jokes that Ramon really couldn't appreciate, put him into a little bit of a mental breakdown. So the sad thing here is that Ramon, being the only gay or bisexual family sim in town, might end up alone, because the others are all pleasure or romance sims. And I really wouldn't wish that for him. Luckily, we still have 8 more sims who have to move to this town, so one of them might be his future match, and that means that he wouldn't have to stay alone. But for now, let's skip to the promise that I made to you to show you Valentina's stall at the Fall Festival. So let's end this episode with some footage of the Fall Festival that is going to be here really soon now. And I would also like to really take this opportunity to thank you, because I saw that the channel now has 12 subscribers, and I just want to tell you that it is amazing to me that I get to share these videos and stories with you. For me, it's a dream come true to have the possibilities to do something creative like this, and really every single view and subscriber makes me so happy and so grateful to be able to do this. I'm having a lot of fun creating and filming this town, and really just having one person out there who would be entertained by watching this really brings me joy. So I just wanted to let you know that I appreciate you, and I am working hard to improve the quality of these videos as much as I can. So thank you for watching. Like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to see more of the stories of these Sims. Bye! See you next time!